Welcome back. Let's talk about Rachel Reeves. She's gone to Davos, where they have the World Economic Forum. Keir hasn't gone this year, but you remember this is his favourite place because hates democracy, but he loves it when world leaders and mysterious business leaders, tycoons, get together to make deals that have nothing to do with democracy, nothing to do with the people of the countries these world leaders represent. So remember this from Keir?
You have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained, and it's closed, and we're not having meaning. Once you get out of Westminster, whether it's Davos or anywhere else, you actually engage with people that you can see working with in the future. Westminster is just a tribal shouting place.
Yeah, can't stand that democratic mother of all parliaments. Oh, let's go to Davos and talk to some tycoons who've arrived in their private jets to talk about clean air, no doubt. Here's the thing, though. This time last year, she was the hottest ticket in town in Davos, Rachel Reeves. I'll write for business under me, Britain will be open for business and all this. Well, now she hasn't even been given a main speaking slot. No one wants to know her because they all know that she's going on about, oh, the business is booming in Britain. No. They all know that her £40 billion tax grab budget killed business and it's just socialism at work, and they don't want to know her this year. Nobody wants to talk to her this year.
Let's just quickly, can I just say about what Keir Starmer said? I know that's a clip there that's been repeated and repeated and repeated. That's not just Keir Starmer being a globalist and turning his back on Britain and British democracy. That effectively you could interpret it in terms of what he said there about the future, meeting people that are people you can deal with and work with in the future. It's almost like he feels he's feathering his own commercial nest later, where all these politicians go off to become non-exec directors and board members and so on. Anyway, so Rachel Reeves has no credibility as a Chancellor, economist or money person whatsoever. We now know that to our cost in Britain. The thing is, that has now filtered through to Davos. All of the entrepreneurs, the business leaders and indeed the political leaders know that she has no clue and no credibility. So therefore, they're not going to want to talk to her, they're not going to want to be associated with her, and that's why she hasn't got a speaking slot. The audacity, really, of Rachel Reeves, or maybe naivety, maybe it's arrogance, maybe it's incompetence, it's one or both of those, that she thinks that she can go to somewhere like Davos, having just rinsed Britain in the worst budget that we've ever had.
The worst budget.
Yes, by way of doing what she's done in terms of the £40 billion tax, as you reference. Half of that, by the way, on businesses by way of national insurance for employers. But it's the message it sends to businesses here and, of course, abroad. If you set your stall out as a government very, very quickly in your first 3 or 4 months in government, whereby you're saying that we are going to be high tax and high regulation, what that sends out as a message to those business people across the world and those those leaders of those countries is that we're effectively closed for business. So why would anyone want to sit there talking to Rachel Reeves about investing in this country when she's effectively turned the taps off? She's killed the country economically. It is hypocritical at best.
It's ludicrous. 2 people in the frame right now. Peter Mandelson, who Starmer has appointed as our ambassador in Washington, the most important diplomatic job that there is for Britain. Our oldest ally, America, of course, the special relationship. Well, Trump didn't even invite him to his inauguration. In the past, he's called Trump a white supremacist. Trump doesn't even want to know him. So Mandelson is going to be an also-ran. Yeah. Trump might decide he could actually veto Mandelson as a British ambassador, and he may well do that. He's also very worried about our Attorney General, a lefty called Lord Richard Hermer, who basically in any dispute decides that Britain is wrong. He's the one who, for no reason whatsoever, is desperate to negotiate a deal to give away the Chagos Island to China's friend Mauritius. They've given Donald Trump the right of veto on that. He'll make a decision on that tomorrow. He's going to say no. know, isn't he?
Well, but also they brought back Jonathan Powell, who used to be the chief of staff for Tony Blair and was also one of the architects of the Chagos deal. And they're going to put him in charge, apparently, of doing a trade deal with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who doesn't want us to do that Chagos deal for obvious reasons, is going to look across the table at Jonathan Powell and say, well, what are you doing here? You know, you're not my politics, mate, so why on earth would I want to negotiate with you? So, again, Starmer showing, as ever, you know, huge misjudgment in terms of the people that are around him. So Rachel Reeves isn't going to get any deals. And Rachel Reeves also, Kev, I'm afraid, thinks that growth comes from the public sector. She thinks that growth comes from people investing here. I'll tell you where growth comes from. It comes from hard-working people that then become consumers and buy stuff, but particularly from businesses, entrepreneurs, wealth creators. This might be lost on Rachel Reeves, but small businesses, SMEs in Britain, employ 16 million people in this country. That is why we should cut taxes, and that will get things going.
Absolutely. Should Donald Trump veto Peter Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness, who's our new ambassador in Washington? The president has the right to say no. Should he say no to that old Machiavellian schemer, a man who's been in more trouble than most people in his checkered career?
The Prince of Darkness.
And should he get rid of Richard Hermer, or is he right to object to Richard Hermer, the left-wing Attorney General, who wants to give away the Chagos and thinks that Britain is automatically wrong in any given dispute that he's in, because, of course, we're imperialists, aren't we?